Howdy everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around the virtual table today are Brandie, Brie, Jr., and Steven. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Eddie.
Hey.
We've got a few scheduling announcements to make it for next month. On Monday, February 20th, we will be doing a special one-shot in honor of Kyle Thomas's birthday, where he'll be GMing a special thing that he's written that we've played a few times before. And this one is called Pinky's Revenge. Then on Sunday, February 26th, I will be guest hosting a one-shot over on the Bard Rock Cafe podcast network. That one's going to be called Rock Around the Clock. You can keep up to date on our schedule and everything we're doing by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that's it. So join us now as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had infiltrated the Temple of Jorun in the city of Ranivika in an attempt to discover just how deeply the cult of the Dreamer had embedded itself within the Church of the Five Gods. While Ichabod and Corrin posed as pilgrims wishing to learn more about the God of Shadows, Blaznir, Lapis, and Tomas Rothan of the Erudite Conclave joined the convent as new initiates by way of a hat of disguise. Over the course of their investigation, Corin and Ichabod were having a bit of trouble finding any evidence that suggests that the cult is within the priesthood. Their days seemed to be fairly ordinary priestly lives, and a search of the head priest's chambers and office revealed nothing uncommon as well. So while they waited for the chance to be given a tour of the convent, the pair settled in to learn more about the Jorunian faith in the temple library. There they were surprised to find an old tome of spells hidden among the books, one that appeared to belong to a former student of the Twisting Spires in North Mia, a man named Rivden Drax. Corin reached out to the group's conclave contact to request information about this individual, only to discover that Drax had joined the conclave a few years ago, when he had been sent to the Margarden Federation to do research in the Gentla Wastes. He was currently considered missing in action, and unfortunately the Conclave didn't really have a whole lot of more information, so it was a bit of a surprise to find his spellbook there in Ranivika. Now, at the convent, Blaznir, Lapis, and Tomas decided to use the cover of night to sneak into the Reverend Mother's office and do some reconnaissance there. With Lapis and Tomas in an invisibility spell, and Blaznir wild-shaping into a fly, the trio managed to sneak past the patrolling nuns and enter the room with relative ease. Once inside, the team quickly searched through the head nun's desk, where they found a copy of the Dreamer cult's grimoire, as well as some incriminating correspondence between Ivek Abir and the Reverend Mother, which included a location. the location of the Umbra Spire. And so, Debauchery Circus. Now that your group knows for certain that the Reverend Mother is a member of the Dreamer cult, Blaznir, Lapis, and Tomas snuck back into the tiny chamber they shared so that Tomas could report what he had uncovered to the Conclave. The next day, while that group was occupied by their daily worship and chores, Ichabod and Corrin set out into the town to look for the gnomish wizard Drax, and to also meet with Master Uly's Truss, the retired adventurer who had allowed them to teleport into his home to request assistance with a spell that could potentially help them investigate. So, as you all complete these morning tasks, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what for your character, or what for you, would be the ultimate magical item? And since looks like Corin's the one who rolled, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Well, first of all, I do already have the Circlet of Echoes, which is pretty boss. But as for magic items that I don't have, it would probably be a toss-up between the Robe of the Archmagi and the robe that gives me disadvantage on being attacked. I don't really know which one would boost my armor class the most, but having a sweet-ass armor class, saving throw against spells, and save DCs and attack bonuses going up is pretty nice.
Fair enough. Okay. Blaznir, how about you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Sorry, I didn't have my headset on for a second. I think Blaznir would like the Ring of Fire Elemental command. It's gives him resistance to fire damage and allows him to cast a Dominate Monster on a Fire Elemental. And also does some other things if he kills one. So it's pretty neat.
Sounds like a pretty cool thing there. Okay. Lapis, how about you?
So Lapis has heard rumors of a sacred scroll that speaks of mortality. As long as you read from it every 24 hours, what is it? Let's see. Yeah, if you read it at least once every 24 hours, if you die when you've been dead for a full day, it automatically casts Reincarnate. You can actually cast Revivify and Raise the Dead as well with this scroll. So that'd be pretty awesome to have.
We got two wannabe liches in this party.
Basically.
Hey, no, this is just a scroll. It's not.
But you're getting sus. You're getting sus. I'm just saying, I'm gonna
Sussy.
keep my eye on you.
I'm the only one allowed to be a lich here. All right, come
You
on.
better stop seeking immortality. It's wrong.
Everybody wants to be immortal in this group.
I'm ready to die.
Okay, well, Ichabod, what is your ultimate magical item?
I'm gonna be a little basic and say Holy Avenger, because advantage on saving throws if you're in my aura, my 10-foot aura, and just being able to hack and slash. I like it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Holy Avenger would be a fun weapon to find.
Oh yeah. As long as it can still glow, though.
Yeah, it's got to glow.
It doesn't say that it glows, but I feel like it should glow.
I feel like it
Gotta be
should glow
shiny.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Although there is also the Dawn Blade, which is basically a radiant lightsaber.
Yeah,
that
that's
glows.
Sunblade. But
Yeah.
it doesn't give you the advantage on the saving throws, and that's what I want. Advantage and everybody gets a +4. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, Debauchery Circus. You all met up with, or at least Corin and Ichabod, the two of you went and met up with Master Truss. I believe we figured out what you needed to pay him beforehand, at the end of the last session. Did you ever write that down, Corin?
I took it off of my money, I believe, and I added scrying into my Or no, Arcane Eye wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Arcane Eye.
Arcane
It's
Eye.
Arcane
I
Eye.
added it into my...
Okay, then you'll be able to prepare that for tomorrow.
Mhm.
But other than that, you leave Master Truss's mansion probably just a little after 12 o'clock. It took him a little while to work on that for you, and he said he'd deliver it to you. That way you could have it for the evening. So, but apart from that, you know that you have your you're supposed to have your tour of the convent later this afternoon. So you might want to be heading back about this time. As for Blaznir and Lapis, your day has been fairly typical of what you've experienced so far. You know, you've had to go and clean a lot. You've had to scrub down the main temple area. You've had to redo the latrines. You've had to start cleaning up all of the various bedrooms and stuff on the main floor. So that's occupied pretty much the entirety of your time. But to start things off, what I'd like the two of you to do is what is your, let's see, Blaznir, what's your passive perception?
28.
28. Yeah, it's just freaking stupid. So
I can almost see God. It's 2 off.
Wait, you can see God? Because I was starting to think
Almost.
Almost.
Let me know if you find any evidence.
Blaznir's perception is so high that he vaguely is aware of the fact that his body is actually just plastic, and there's a ton of giants around a table right now staring down at him.
Oh no. He's like, my life is dictated by a dice.
I can see it now. He gets 2 more points, and Matt's like, well, you now know that you're a character in a game. That makes you the dungeon master, and I get to play.
He sees the time knife.
Yeah, he can see the time knife. Anyway, so, with your ridiculous passive perception, Blaznir, you've been going about your morning, but there is something that you have noticed, is that whatever tasks you've been assigned to, there's been at least 1 or 2 nuns watching over your group the entire time. Whatever it is you're doing, scrubbing the latrines, cleaning the rectory, whatever, there's been at least 2 nuns standing nearby, and for the most part, they've been trying to be nonchalant about it. Most of the time, you'll just see a pair of them standing there talking to one another. Every so often, somebody else would come in, kind of look around the room where you all are, pretend to be looking for something, and then leave. But with your ridiculously high passive perception, it's you're getting the sense that they're specifically watching you, your group. More so than it has been the previous couple of days. At one point, when you're going from one section of the convent to another, you go passing by that gigantic tree that's out in the center courtyard, and you glance over at the chapel itself, and you can see the Reverend Mother, Mother Dominica, standing there in conference with a couple of her acolytes, a couple of the other nuns. You go back passing through an hour later, and there she is again, still in conversation with another group. Each time it's somebody different.
Can I see any lips moving? Because I can read lips with observer feat.
Now, if you want to try to do that, that's going to be an active perception check.
Sure. I'll just take a quick glance, see if I can see her. That shouldn't be an advantage, but 18.
18. So the second time you are passing through the courtyard, you glance over there again, and there's Mother Dominica speaking with Sister Mary Clarence and Sister Mary Thomas over there. And for the most part, the Mother Superior's back is to you, so you can't really see what she's saying. But with your 18, you do catch some of the words that the other two are saying. One, it says, "As you wish, Mother will begin the preparation immediately." The other one says, "It'll take us a few hours to get everything prepared." Then you see the Mother kind of nod, and that's kind of all you're able to glean from that few seconds you happen to be walking by. But you definitely get the sense that they're preparing for something.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Other than that, Ichabod and Corrin, do you head back to the temple after your shopping trip with in the town with Master Truss?
Yeah, so I'll say we head back to the temple, but I do want to stop before we get there, and turn to Corin for a second.
Okay.
That's something I want to say to you.
Sure,
Corin,
absolutely.
Stop here for a moment. Now, let me preface this by saying don't get excited, okay? But I'm not sure what's going to go down tonight. I feel like if this is going to break bad, it'll probably be while we're all over there, if we get down into the catacombs. So I want you to take this so that I can keep you safe. And I give him a platinum ring.
Yeah. I'll put it on.
For my warding bond spell. And then I also put one on. And then I go, and also I want you to know I ain't ashamed of you, okay?
I wouldn't think you would be. A man of your convictions is always strong in whatever he believes in.
Give him a little smile.
So, while we're there, do you think I could find out if any of the nuns have training in the ways of the monk?
Why?
To see if any of them know how to use nunchucks, of course.
I walk away.
Like, you just hear a collective groan from the passers-by.
I was trying to be a little bit romantic with you, Corin, and you ruined it.
Yeah, it's just really awkward, and Corin is left there in the street, just standing there. A little tumbleweed goes blowing by, and yeah.
All right, don't get left behind now.
But as you make your way back to the temple, you see the tall two-story stone building, large columns. You see a couple of the priests out there in the front step, like actually talking to some people, ministering a little bit. You see another one giving alms to the poor a few blocks away, or a few feet away in the courtyard. They seem to be fairly active about town. They seem to spend a lot of their time, you've noticed throughout the day, just out among the people.
Mm-hmm.
They're fairly active in this community.
I say to Corin, it bothers me that these priests are so nice. There's nothing I can find wrong with them, and we can't find any evidence against them. But it's kind of hard to believe that the nunnery here would be worshiping, a cult right under their nose, and they wouldn't be aware of it.
Strange.
Just seems awful convenient to me, but I want to believe it because the beer's so damn good.
Well, what do you want to do once you arrive at the temple?
So how long do we have before we are supposed to have our...
You weren't really given a time frame beyond the fact that in the afternoon after midday service.
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't really given much of a time beyond that.
Well, Corin, do we have any good way to slip our tour guide once we're in there? Because I can't imagine she's going to show us the things that we want to see.
Let's see. Well, there's always invisibility.
All right, you can hit us both with that, because I'm not very quiet. But
That
yeah,
would still potentially have a cause for alarm, as they would, if we were no longer with them, they would
mhm.
worry about two men being in the convent unaccompanied.
Yeah, that's why
But
but I think we got to get down to those catacombs. That's what seems to be the most important. That's why I was like, if this is gonna break bad, it's gonna break bad tonight.
yes, I understand.
But we gotta make sure that we are in contact with our allies too, so we can all meet up and go down there together.
Another option is simply to seek out the route during the day and then go at night under the cover of darkness when they don't expect us.
See, that's why I keep you around, because you're the smart one. All right, well, let's turn it into a reconnaissance mission for now and just kind of see what happens.
Hmm.
So I don't really have anything that I need to do prior to this. I'm trying to think if I have any like ritual spells I should cast.
Well, I mean, if you have nothing else that you want to do, you can just go track down one of the priests and find out what's going on with your
Yeah,
tour and that sort of thing.
Talk to Butters.
Go
I'd
find
like to
Butters.
cast mage armor.
You gonna cast mage armor on yourself?
Yeah,
Yes,
well, aid can get 3 people, so I kind of
just in
want to go
case,
to our people.
because that sucker lasts for 8 hours.
Sweet.
Aid, you could always cast it on Butters too if you really wanted to.
Butters to be beefed up because I might be kicking his ass.
Fair enough.
I still haven't decided where I am with Butters yet.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah. Does Butters have an office, like a private office?
No, he doesn't have a private office or anything like that. He's just one of the acolytes that that live and work at the temple. But if you walk in and ask around, it's not hard to find them. They all know each other. Butters is actually in the kitchen. You're informed by one of the other priests, one who happens to be in the main temple itself. And you find Butters in the kitchens, working on something. God only knows what. It's a big cast iron kettle on the fire. He seems to be stirring it a little bit, singing to himself something about apples.
What does it smell like?
Yeah, let me get.
Make a perception check.
Is it borscht?
14.
Right now it's borscht.
Sure, it's borscht.
Yes. It's borscht.
It's
You throwing some whiskey in that borscht or what?
Oh, gee, yeah. I suppose I'm putting some whiskey in here, and he just grabs some and pours.
I'll tell you that ain't quite near enough.
See, as soon as you said, "Are you putting some whiskey in there?" I was expecting the classic, one for the borscht, one for me.
Yeah.
One for the borscht, one for me.
I mean, that's not a horrible thing to consider when you're making
Perfect.
borscht.
If we have a little bit of time before, we should get Butters really drunk and then try to get him to tell us, like, we can interrogate him a little bit.
Secrets,
Yeah.
guy talk.
Yeah, just some guy talk. I want to be real friendly with Butters. I think we've been building a rapport, so
Okay.
I'm gonna come in and be like, Brother Butters, we heard that we were going to be getting like a tour of the nunnery at some point later today. Do you happen to know when that is?
Butters, who's over there messing around with that pot of borscht, takes another nip of the whiskey before pouring some more in there, and he says, "Oh, I think the father was going to come and find you when that time was. He mentioned something about taking you over to the nunnery himself. He might be up in his office. You could always go up there and ask him yourself."
That's all right. I'll
Yeah.
pull out a water skin that has no alcohol in it and just look at him and go, "To your health," and take a big drink, attempting to see if I can entice him to do the same, but with actual whiskey.
Yeah.
Just make a general charisma check for me.
Yeah, we
Sure.
just want to hang out and make borscht and talk and
19.
shoot the shit with Butters for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. you pull out your water skin and take a drink of it, and he raises his glass or his bottle and takes a little nip, but then he looks at you and he's like, "Why are you drinking over there?"
It's something from far off elven lands. Nothing as good as what you make here, but it is certainly a taste of home.
Make a deception check if it's just water.
Yeah.
Want to
Alrighty.
taste some of that whiskey too.
Hey.
Yeah, Butters cocks an eye at you unless you want to switch that up.
Yeah, let's re-roll that one. Eesh, that's even worse.
Yeah, I want to saddle up next to Butters and have him pour me a glass, and I whisper to Butters, "Yeah, my friend's kind of got a weak constitution, and he's a little bit insecure about it."
I'll allow you to make a deception check as well as he's pouring you a glass, but
No,
he
I'm
does.
telling the truth. He does have a weak constitution.
I mean, 14 is okay, but yes.
Yeah, that's not a weak constitution.
I am a pansy elf who cannot hold his liquor.
But you are being deceptive because you're trying to make an excuse for him.
Yes.
Yes.
I will attempt. 23.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Die.
He's like, oh, yeah, I heard those elves, they have a hard time with this stronger stuff. But,
It's real lightweight. It's embarrassing, honestly.
the best way to fix that is to drink more. And he kind of pours a big old glass for each of you. Or I suppose it's medieval times, some more tankards. But he passes one to each of you.
I like you, Butters. I like the way you think. Absolutely, I will drink this.
I like you too, Ichabod. How are you liking the temple so far? As he's taking another swig.
Honestly, it's quite a marvel. And y'all are out here doing just the Lord's work, for real. I see how you guys treat your congregation, and honestly, it's awe-inspiring.
It's all thanks to the Mother Superior, the head priestess Ivik Abir. She spent a lot of money rebuilding the temples here and the convent as well. If it weren't for her patronage, we wouldn't be able to do nearly as much work as we do now.
I was kind of curious about how the convent and this temple here. How do you guys work together? What's the extent of the back and forth kind of relationship?
Oh well, we don't really work with them too much. He says he's taking another drink, then pours some more into the soup, and he stirs it a little bit, gives it a sip, and he's like, "Oh, I need to put some more beets in here." And he starts working on that as he's
It's gonna be some good borscht.
Yeah, definitely. He's in there peeling some more beets and chopping them up as he's talking to you.
While he's distracted, can I attempt to sleight of hand some of the booze in my glass into his glass?
Well, he's just drinking right out of the bottle, but you can always try. You can certainly try. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Sure. I rolled a natural 1 and
Yeah.
still got an 11 though.
Well, you reach over there and you act like you're starting to pour, but your tankard hits the rim of the bottle, kind of splashes over, and Butters looks over. "Oh, are you wanting some more? Here, let me help you out with that." And he picks it up and just pours more into your bottle for you, or into your glass for you.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Now, what he does say is, now the convent is pretty specific. It's mainly there to focus on worship of Jorun and leading a life of service to him. That's what the nuns do over there. While we here at the temple, our main focus is ministering to those in the city. So that's kind of how we work together. Is they focus on the prayer and the worship and the focus of Jorun, while we do his other works, listening to confessions, ministering to the poor, making sure that the townspeople have everything they need, that sort of thing.
That makes sense to me. So, and I imagine it's pretty rare for any of you priests to really spend too much time over there.
Now we really don't go over there too often. We bring over the beer, and we bring over a cart of supplies once a week to that they order. But other than that, we pretty much do our thing, and they do their thing.
About the father himself, does he go over there and converse with the Reverend Mother much?
Well, they're the two heads of the order, so they confer with each other as often as they need to, I suppose. He says as he's taking another drink, and he looks at the two of you expectantly as well.
He wants us to get wasted. The thing is that Ichabod would just do it. Because
I'm gonna try and fake it, I guess, with another deception check.
Well, I actually need my squire, in fact, to stay somewhat about his wits. It's very important in his schooling.
He just Butters chuckles. One glass won't hurt, will it?
Well, like I said about that elven constitution, sometimes one glass will put him out the whole night.
Okay, if you're working together on this, you can make a persuasion check at advantage.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, but I myself, I have no such hesitancies. So.
Oh, I'm sure your glass is like 3/4 empty at this point.
Oh, absolutely, and I would take Corin's too if you handed it to me. Okay, you said a persuasion. I have a +4 to persuasion. What about you? Probably
So do I.
I believe in you.
Alright. 15.
Okay, 15's like, he'll take Corin's glass and pour half of it into yours, Ichabod, and he's like, fine, there you go. You can at least drink this with me, right?
Yes.
Sure. I'll look over at him. I'll go, it's funny you should mention confession. I knew a man who was obsessed with a certain magic item. Yes, a sword known as the Holy Avenger. In fact, he seemed to long to touch it every night.
Shoot Corin a really dirty look.
Honestly. He's, hold on a second, I'm trying to get this to work. What?
Obviously not talking about the sword at all in the slightest.
Oh, there it goes. God damn, I don't know why it wasn't working.
Corin's trying to get back at me. For your
No,
costume.
I was trying to roll Constitution checks to see how drunk he's getting, and
Oh yeah.
it just wasn't popping up for a second into
Just a saving
chat.
throw?
Yeah, it was saving throw. It's the same. But yeah. So he seems to be getting a little bit more on the tipsy side of things. But this is obviously a guy that's been doing this for years.
Long time. Yeah.
So he's not that far off. Now, what was your question again for him?
It wasn't actually a question. He had mentioned that the priests take confession, so I was being silly and making a reference to the fact that Ichabod is interested in getting a Holy Avenger and using that to make a dirty entendre.
That's right.
Dirty sex joke.
Yeah. It kind of goes over Butter's head. Like it really just did.
Yep.
He's like, oh, I don't know too much about that kind of thing.
That's good, Butters. That's good. Well, what do you reckon? This borscht ready to eat?
He sips it a little bit. He says, "Oh, it's got a couple hours to simmer before dinner time, but it tastes pretty good. If you want to try some."
Absolutely.
Hey, Matt,
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So, because I have the telekinetic feat, I can cast Mage Hand without verbal or somatic components and make the hand invisible.
Sure.
So the next time that Butters is going for a drink, can I do that thing that, like, kids would sometimes do to their friends where they're, like, drinking something and then they, like, tip it up to make them, like, drink more of it at once?
Oh, sure. You can.
You know
do
what
that
I'm
if you want
saying?
to. Yeah, absolutely. So you watch as Butters puts down his bottle, gets up 2 small bowls, and pours a little bit of the soup into each one, and sits it on the table for you.
Nice.
He goes to and picks up his bottle once again and lifts it to start drinking. And as he's taking a sip with your invisible mage hand, you just very lightly put it underneath it and start holding it up. That way, as he tries to put it down, it can't. He's like,
I mean, I'm not gonna make it like way obvious. Just drink a little bit more than he would have.
yeah, and it goes down. But then once he tries to put it down and can't for that first second, he like coughs a little bit, and he has to pull it to the side. He's like, oh, that was weird.
You getting a little lost in the sauce there.
That was, yeah. I should probably put this down. Ugh.
I reckon you're hogging it all to yourself.
Well, here, have some more then. And he'll pour some more for you as well.
All right, I want to challenge Butters to a game.
You want to challenge Butters to a game?
Yeah, now that we're both tipsy, now that we're both getting pretty tipsy, the best way to get more tipsy is to play games. So like a dice game or a card game or the knife between your fingers game.
Drinking contest.
Yeah, like a drinking contest.
Okay.
Some real cowboy games here.
Gonna play
Sure,
some paladin playing a beer pong up in
Yeah,
here.
until we go over there, we're just getting Butters as drunk as possible.
So you're inviting him. Hey, while the soup's cooking, you wanna do some shots and play some beer pong?
No.
I'm gonna say it's the knife hand game. You ever play that where you?
It's more like, let me show you a great, important game from my homeland that is sacred and important, and you'll be disrespecting my homeland if you don't play it, kind of thing.
I mean, how are you selling this to Butters? That's my question.
Well, I'm hoping that Butters thinks we're kind of friends now. So I'm like, listen, Butters, we got plenty of time while that borscht is cooking. Why don't we continue enjoying this delicious whiskey and engage in some friendly competition?
Sure, make a persuasion check.
All right, Butters. Come on, my boy. That's a 21.
Butters says, "Well, I don't have a whole lot to do while I'm waiting for this to cook. Let's, I guess so. Let's go sit down and have a few drinks."
All right. So we're gonna sit down. I'm gonna say let's play a dice game. We're playing a dice game.
Okay, you're playing a dice game. What kind of dice game are you playing?
Well, don't make me come up with dice game rules.
So we pull out some sheets of paper. The game is called Cubicles and Coworkers.
Oh shit!
Butters, your character's an alcoholic. So.
Roll to see if you can sass your way past the boss as you're coming into work late after having drunk too much the night before.
Honestly, you could play a game as simple as like odds and evens or something.
Liar's dice, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's play Liar's Dice. That's a good one.
Yeah, Liar's Dice is always
We're playing
fun.
Liar's Dice.
Okay, so basically the goal is for the next hour or however long it takes for the head priest to come find you, you're going to sit there and try to get Butters as drunk as possible. Is
I
that?
get Butters as drunk as
Yes.
possible, and I will also, I'll try to resist, but Ichabod's probably also going to get wasted to
Yeah.
this end.
You haven't rolled a Constitution saving throw yet, so
No,
why
I
don't you go ahead and roll one real quick? Butters has been holding his own. He's been drinking a
Got
lot.
a 23 con save.
Yeah, you're
Okay, I
holding
can-
your own too. Absolutely. So you sit down, the pair of you, while Corin is more being just kind of out of the way so he doesn't have to drink, and the two of you just start like rolling dice and playing a drinking game.
Oh yeah.
We're going to say that you're able to do this for about an hour or so. Every 10 minutes or so, actually probably less than that, every minute or so, someone has to take another drink. I think what we're going to do just for this, you and Butters are each going to roll a d20, just a straight d20. Whoever has the higher one is the one that drank less. The one who got lower has to drink was the one who drank more.
Since we're playing liar's dice, can we do contested deception checks instead of just the regular d20?
Ooh, you know what? I like that. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Why don't we do contested deception checks? You're both going to get pretty. You're both going to be drinking for a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to have each of you roll a couple Constitution saving throws based on who won. Okay.
Here's my deception. It's a 16.
I actually have to set this up. So let's see.
This is probably the most fun Ichabod has had in the last 2 weeks. Other than, of course, all the love making with Corin.
I was gonna say.
So the funny thing is, we got a tie. We both rolled a 16. So go ahead. We're both going to do con saving throws.
Oh my god, I got a nat one.
Yeah, and he got a 10. So
we're fucking wasted.
You're both getting pretty damn tipsy at this point. We're going to do one more deception check. Let's do that. Butters rolled a 14.
Got a 6.
Wow, you are not doing well at all.
Corin, I think you gave me the wrong dice. These are not my lucky dice.
Okay, so you're going to have to roll 2 more con saving throws. He's going to have to roll 1.
It's an 11 on the first one, and a 22 on the second one.
And he rolled a nat 1 for a 2. Okay, so while as you're playing for this hour, you're starting to lose. You're taking more shots than he is. But by the end of it, by the end of that hour, both of you are noticeably intoxicated.
All right, Butters. Listen up. This is for the money. This is the last one for everything. You gotta finish your drink.
Okay, guy, let's go ahead and do it. And he's swaying a little bit as he's doing this.
I burp. I really love it.
You rolled a 15.
Damn it!
13!
What? Alright. I'm beat.
You are quite intoxicated by this point. Butters, he is as well. He's been doing shots with you. He's been drinking this time. It's not like he hasn't done none. It's just this has been a quick version of, for an hour, the two of you have been rolling dice and taking shots. You are plastered. He is not quite as bad, but he is still visibly intoxicated.
I forgot what the point was.
Well, that's probably yeah, that's probably the point. So you've been watching this go on this whole time, Corin. Ichabod swaying a little bit. His eyes are glassy.
Let this be a lesson to you, Squire, of the dangers of dice games and drinking, and it leads to debauchery. So you gotta be careful.
Yes.
Huh? About that time.
Wear my shoes.
So you're getting up, he's getting up, the two of you are kind of swaying a little bit. Corin is just...
You gotta ask him a question. Ask him a question that he can't lie about because he's so drunk.
You never actually told me what to ask beforehand.
I don't know what you're talking about. I need a toilet.
So you go stumbling away looking for the toilet. You burst out of the dining room door just in time to see the head priest coming down the stairs. You pass him by and he just kind of watches you for a moment as you go stumbling off to the bathroom.
I'll be right back, sir. Father. 1 second.
Corin, you have a moment alone with Butters, but you do just have a moment if you're wanting to.
So, yeah, I guess I'll just say to him, I do find the priesthood rather strange. I mean, you get to help people, but all the things that you must give up in order to do it seems quite taxing, especially if Jorun himself never actually directly speaks to you, you know?
I suppose that's just about what faith is. Wouldn't you say? That's like you gotta believe, and if there's obvious visible proof all the time, that's not requiring faith, is it?
Before you achieve, you must believe, I suppose.
Kinda.
I love Butters.
He's just kind of wobbling there a little bit. He's getting up. He's trying to like clean up everything off the table, and about that time, the head priest walks in.
I'll help him clean stuff.
He looks around, and the old man is. I saw Brother Sykes running down the hall. What's going on in here?
Yes, I believe Brother Sykes is a bit sick, perhaps.
That's not good. I hope it's not something. And then he's like looking over the whole scene. Butters is trying to be like very. He's trying to hide the bottle a little bit in front of him.
Play it cool.
Basically play it cool. Play it cool.
Well, I was coming to find you both. It's time for me to take you up to the convent if you're all ready to go.
I am indeed. As for Brother Sykes, I may have to simply help him back to our room so that he might rest instead.
Well, I certainly hope what he has isn't contagious.
I don't think so. Probably just relating to some bad meat that we had on from the city or something.
You watch Butters like trying to sneak around into the kitchen to not be seen. You know.
In the bathroom, I'm just like making myself throw up, so I can feel a little bit normal again.
Yeah, I can't think of what to roll for that. So
it's very easy to make yourself throw up.
Yeah, it is. You're just in the bathroom with your finger down your throat.
So I'm like, I'm gonna be drunk, but I'm hoping it takes the edge off, you know, like, and so that I can be like kind of normal to still go over there. So once I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, all right. I'm still a little wobbly, but my head's clearing up a little bit. I'm gonna try to clean myself up a little bit and walk back.
Okay. You walk back. Your eyes are definitely glassy, and there's a sour taste in your mouth now. Yeah.
Well, I reckon I'm feeling much, much better now. Oh, Father, are you here to take us on our tour?
Oh yes, my son. It's time to head over to the convent. If you're feeling okay, your squire did say he would have you go lay down and rest if that's what you needed.
No, I will be just fine. I am, ripe as a peach right now. I'm feeling good.
Make a deception check.
Well, I am feeling good. So
make a deception check.
Yeah, my bonus is the same either way. That's a nat 20 for a 24. I feel great.
Well, you're definitely playing it off well, at least.
Yeah, I've probably worked drunk before.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, a lot of time spent on the wall, getting wasted, shooting zombies.
It's the only way to stay warm is to get drunk on the wall.
Yeah, Zeal was doing coke and I was drinking whiskey.
On a totally unrelated note, Matt, what level would you consider a spell to remove someone being drunk?
I imagine that's just a lesser restoration spell, honestly. It's a second level spell, I think?
Something like that. I don't have it. Moving on.
prepared.
Wizards wouldn't have it anyway.
No,
Okay, I'm
a divine
willing
thing.
to be drunk for this event. I'm willing.
Well, the father seems to be believing you, and as he leads you out from the kitchen, you do glance over to see Butters kind of looking out the kitchen door, watching you all pass.
I wink at him.
He gives you a big grin before closing the door, and the father leads you out from the dining room, through the hallway, into the main chapel, and out to the far side of the room, which you've looked past. You've looked through here once or twice, but you haven't really done a whole lot. This is an area where most of the confessionals are. Towards the back of it, there's a door that leads to a walkway that is open air, but then leads to a kind of a covered pavilion type of walkway that goes up the hill towards the very large building that is the convent. The convent itself is a tall, arched roof building with a high steeple in the back. Somewhat plain, somewhat it's not very ostentatious. It's very somber on the outside, but all the windows are glassed, and the building itself looks relatively new and very expensively built, even with all of its simplicity. You arrive at the doorway to the convent, which is opened almost immediately as you all step forward. You see two nuns, two women wearing the habit and the robes of the clergy, heads bowed. One of them looks up at the father and says, hello, sir. Are these the two gentlemen who are interested in viewing the convent? The priest replies,
Yes, this is Master. This is Sir Ichabod Sykes and Master Corin Hassan, his squire. The two of them are members of the Church of Balrus in Gulfrin, and are here to learn more about Jorun.
Hello, sisters. And I lift my hat to them.
The two nuns kind of bow to you a little bit and said, well, we're happy to make your acquaintance. Mother Dominica is right inside. Please come on in. And they step aside. The father doesn't move a muscle. He watches as the two of you go stepping foot into the convent. I'm going to go ahead and move your tokens up there now.
Can I roll an insight check on the father?
What are you trying to glean?
I'm still trying to establish, like, if they have any kind of connection to the fact that the nuns are obviously worshiping the dreamer. So I'm thinking a possible connection could be that they deliver people to the nuns for, like, to join the cult or to be brainwashed or something like that, or that they are currently brainwashed. I don't know. So I just want to look at him and be like, do I get any sort of inkling that he's, like, done this before? Like, it's a little bit nefarious, or that he is kind of, like, I don't know, vacant in the eyes.
Oblivious.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make an insight check.
I don't know if that all makes sense. 24.
Okay, so you glance up at the head priest and kind of give him a once-over. He is, as I've described before, a very elderly man, long beard, white hair, crown around the sides, while the top is just bald. Kind of portly, mostly. You always see him wearing those same monk robes, brown drab things with a rope around the waist. But and he, for the most part, he seems very much the same individual. But as you glance at his eyes, you can definitely see that there's kind of a vacant sort of stare, almost looking past the two nuns. almost as though he's not really interacting with them as much as just answering them. He seems to be more vacantly staring ahead, beyond them, into the convent itself, but he doesn't step foot towards it past where he stands. Like, once he got to that point, which I don't have his token on this map, but as he got to right about there on the map, he stops and he doesn't move any farther, and he just lets the two women come out, nod to you, do your spiel, and then they lead you inside, and he just stands there.
Could I have accidentally, like, tripped and tried to bump into him so he'd step over the threshold?
Well, you would have noticed this after after you had stepped forward. Ichabod is kind of glancing back and looking at him and sizing him up. And the kind of the vibe you're getting here is that, like, it's not so much that, like, he's done this before. It's more that he doesn't seem all that there, all that with it. It's like there could be like a subconscious sort of mind altering that's like subconsciously he stops at this point, or you're just not supposed to pay attention to these things. That's it's definitely weird. It's definitely odd. There's something strange that just tickles your insight as you're looking at this, but beyond that, like, it's hard to tell why.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I wanted, was kind of something, because that would make more sense to me too if they're totally clean as a whistle from everything we found. Is that?
But he's been mind whammied.
Yeah, that they've been a little bit mind whammied to be like a public face. So that this all can stay hidden and they won't accidentally give it away. So, which I kind of like that, because I want them to be innocent. I like this place. Okay. All
well,
right.
who knows? But there's definitely something odd about that. About the way he just stopped, the way he's like, he stops interacting and just goes vacant.
To be clear, did we get the spell scroll from Truss? The arcane
he was
yes.
He got the spell scroll. You said you're planning on putting it into your book tonight. That way you can prepare it tomorrow.
Okay, but he could also just use the spell scroll today if he wanted to.
He could,
but then it would be used up.
Yeah,
which is why I'm trying to wait.
I'm just saying it's an option.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah, it's an option how you want to use it, but you do have the Arcane Eye spell scroll.
Yep.
Okay. The two women watch as you file past and step inside. And you step inside to a very large, wide worship chamber. This one is slightly different than the one you had been to in the temple below, insofar as there's no baptismal, obviously. All of the benches are made of stone. But the large pictogrammic window towards the far side of the temple, just giant, massive windows overlooking what you can see as a courtyard in the distance with a gigantic tree. Towards the far side, there is a pedestal with a statue that you can recognize to be Jorun, but this one is much, much smaller. Like, the statue itself is maybe 5 feet tall, and on a pedestal or an altar that's another, like, maybe 1.5 feet tall. So it, compared to the Jorun statue in the temple below, much, much, much smaller. There are quite a few nuns in this room right now. There's a pair of them that are actually sitting on the front benches reading books. There is a much older lady over near the altar. This one, she's wearing very, very light gray robes. Her hair is long and white as well. Appears to be human. She looks over as the door closes, and you can see a large smile on her face. But writing that 24 insight that I gave you, that you rolled earlier, I'm going to give you that the smile, it seems very fake to you.
Oh, like they're irritated that we might be here?
Kinda, sorta, yeah.
Okay.
this old woman comes walking up to you, and she bows as well. And she says, "Ah, you must be Brother Sykes and Master Hassan. And she kind of cocks her head to one side. Sorry, I just blanked on the fucking word I was looking for. What's that?
Pilgrims.
Yeah, the pilgrims who are staying down at the Temple of Joru.
Indeed, that is us. And I want to say thank you, Mother, for taking time out of your precious schedule to give us this tour. It's been a lifelong goal of mine to see this historical place.
Well, when one comes so far as to from Gulfrin, what else can we do but give you a little bit of honor? And so we welcome you to the convent of Joru. The pair of you are probably the first men to have stepped foot into this building since its completion. So this is a great honor for you as well.
And I feel that to my bones. Trust me. I burp.
Yeah, she's looking you up and down very, very
Wedding.
suspiciously. And then she glances between you and Corin, and you watch as she looks very pointedly over at one of the nuns, and their eyes meet, and then the nun bows her head, turns, and begins walking away, exiting through a door to the north. The mother says, "Well, as you said, I am very, very busy, but I have set some time to show you around the grounds myself. Where would you like to begin?"
I look at Corin, see if he has any ideas.
Perhaps the main prayer hall.
Well, this you're standing in is our main chapel. As you can see, we have this lovely statue that our benefactor, High Priestess Abir, sent for us directly from Laverin, where it was crafted by the finest artisans.
Wow. Truly magnificent.
She leads you down the aisle and towards the center of the room, where you can stand there and kind of look up at Jorun. There are a pair of candelabras on either side of the statue, which are lit and have a nice, warm, comforting glow on it, which kind of, as you look up at the statue, like, the flames kind of give the statue one of those, like, it almost looks like the statue moves a little bit, like the cloak flickers, which obviously it's just an illusion cast from the light of the candles. Mm-hmm. But as you're staring at it, even in the afternoon, which is what time this is, you can, it still gives a very eerie kind of look to it. Beyond that, you can see the outer courtyard. Which with the gigantic tree in the center of it. And about this time, Lapis, Blaznir, the two of you and Tomas had been assigned to make the dinner, the evening meal, dinner. And so the three of you have been spending most of your time in the kitchens this afternoon. So, first, what I'd like to know from either of you is there anything in particular you would have done during the couple hours you spent in the kitchens making dinner? Would you have tried to do anything during that time, or would you just, played along, made a quick meal, and then went about your business?
Are we still being watched?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Okay. You are.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be raising any kind of undue suspicion at this point.
I'll just be, cooking along and flash a smile to the people watching us every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the most part, one of them actually has been working with you. Sister Methuselah. I don't give a fuck what the name is.
Sister Mary something.
Sister Mary Methuselah. She's actually been working with the two of you. She's the head cook and has been giving you instructions on what to do. The other one has been like pretending to talk to Mary Methuselah, but you can definitely tell she's more there to keep an eye on the three of you. About the time you finished making that meal, the Mary Methuselah tells you that she can watch the evening stew from here, and tells you to go head out to the garden to pick some tomatoes and some carrots and potatoes for tomorrow's meal. As the three of you are leaving the chapel, Ichabod, that's when you and Corrin would be able to see three individuals. One extremely tall woman, one a turtle that you don't recognize, and a really short gnome woman you don't recognize, all wearing nun's habits, come out of the main of one of the double doors towards the back behind the tree, and start making their way to the left. You know that the three of them have been under hats of disguise, so like you're like, that's like probably a 70% chance that it's those three.
I never seen a woman that tall before, so it's got to be Blaznir.
Yeah. And you see the three of them making their way across the courtyard, heading towards the door to outside.
So this woman that we're with is Mother who?
Mother Dominica.
Mother Dominica.
Yeah, the Mother Superior or Reverend Mother of the convent.
Okay. All right. I say, Mother, could we possibly see that beautiful courtyard that you've got there beyond yonder window?
Of course, that's where we'll head next. She has spent the last 10 minutes or so telling you about the different features of this main worship hall. The main thing, like the entire time that she describes something, she makes a point to say how expensive it is, and that head priestess Abir is the one who paid for it. So she's been doing that quite a bit. She leads,
swaying back and forth the whole time she's talking.
What's that?
I said I was just swaying back and forth the whole time she's talking. Trying to pay attention.
She looks at you at one point, because you have been swaying a little bit. You are fairly drunk, and she looks up at you and she says, "Are you all right, my son? You seem a little under the weather."
I'll be keeping a hand on him to make sure he doesn't fall over.
I'll be fine. Well, in fact, I'm okay. It is apparently this temple is known for their distillery, and I will admit that I did have a taste. So hopefully, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just pretending like, I was a little careless.
So make a persuasion check.
Mm-hmm. That's 8.
She has kind of a sour look on her face as you're explaining yourself away, and she says, I would think that those wishing to learn more about Jorun and to visit a holy site like this would have a little more decorum and respect and not come in inebriated.
I must fully apologize for my companion. I am the more studious of the two, who was quite interested in seeing the grounds of this place. He happened to befriend a brother Butters, and he was taught never to refuse hospitality from
As,
someone.
our culture in Gulfrin is quite lenient on hospitality, so I will admit I was kind of persuaded by Butters to imbibe more than I traditionally would have, and for that, Mother Superior, I truly am sorry, but I hope you don't think that detracts from my honor for this sacred site. And
Make a
for your
deception with advantage for spinning your bullshit well.
time. Yeah,
Sure.
we like to spin our bullshit.
23.
Yes.
20. Okay. With your 23, that sour expression, it doesn't go away, but then she reaches out and she takes your head, Ichabod, in her hands and kind of pulls it down to her face level to kind of look in your eyes. And then you see her lips beginning to move as she casts a spell. Do either of you try to interfere with this?
No.
I couldn't do this secretly. I was gonna cast protection from evil and good on myself.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that
I think I'll just
stealthily.
let it happen. I'll see what happens.
Okay. You let this happen, and you feel kind of a strange energy kind of wash over you as she casts Lesser Restoration.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm
That's
sober.
what I figured.
Yeah. She pushes the poison out of your blood, and in that moment, like, your foggy head just clears. And the sick, queasy feeling in your stomach just kind of drifts away.
I say through gritted teeth, "Thank you, Mother Superior. I do appreciate it. I am feeling quite more myself now." And I look at Corin and frown.
Inside, his inner whiskey lover is just sitting there crying.
No,
It's like, why would you waste all that booze?
Now I remember how we read those books and learned that maybe all my religion is fake.
Probably.
Remember all the
You can tell that this woman is puckered at both ends. She's not too thrilled about the fact that a couple dudes came in and one of them was plastered.
Hey, we haven't hit on anybody yet. So there's that.
This is true. Once she lets go of your head, Ichabod, she steps back and kind of nods to herself in satisfaction, and she says, "Very well, follow me. Let's try to make this as brief as possible." She leads you through a doorway, which is guarded by a nun, and she leads you out into the main courtyard. What's your passive perception, Corin? I think yours is higher than Ichabod.
Yeah, it's 16.
16. You would notice that as you step out and of the doorway into the courtyard, the nun that was guarding the door steps out with you and then takes a position right there. Just obviously watching your group, but not doing more than that.
Okay. Can I make an active perception check, see if she's armed?
Certainly.
18.
You glance at, you look her over, and there's nothing like obvious outside that she's armed, but then you kind of look closer at her waist, and you can see a bit of a bulge there in the front on the side of her hip, which you're guessing is probably a mace.
That's not a nun, baby. It's a man.
No.
Wrong side.
Oh, okay.
I specifically said it wasn't in the middle, that way you couldn't say that.
And yet I said it anyway.
And yet you said it anyway. But anywho.
Alright, so we gotta... Do we see our allies, like, where they went?
So yeah, you watched you watched through the window where they went. They strode out from the double doors to the north, and made their way out to another door that leads to the outside.
Okay. if I can have a moment to like whisper something to Corin, like, okay, so we come out here, we see the big tree.
Yeah, you come out there, you see the big tree. The nun like sits there and explains the tree and points out different features, yada yada yada.
And I imagine what she's explaining about the tree is not how it's the dreaming tree.
Well, I have a spiel, but we
All
can.
right, while she's spieling,
Yeah.
Matt
I
wants to
whisper
give the spiel.
Corin. Yeah, you can give the spiel, just like lean way far away from your microphone, so it sounds like you're in the
I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but the nun kind of walks you over to the tree and begins to explain how Jorun, the god of death, is the gatekeeper to the abyss, and yet everything that comes to him is life. This tree symbolizes life. Yada yada yada. She spends probably a good 20 minutes or so just talking about the connectivity between life and death and light and the shadow and all that. But that's when you could easily.
It's full of shit. So I lean over to Corin and I'm like, we need to get in contact with our allies. You got any of those sending spells?
Yes.
Well, don't you think it's important that they know where we are? Maybe they could take over this tour?
I doubt they would let them, considering how green they are, but it's worth a shot.
Just an idea. Or are we still just reconnaissancing?
So yeah, I guess, let me see what's...
Or they can tell us where they are and we can request that the tour move in that direction.
Maybe. One thing I am going to try and do is, if she's taking us up close to the tree, I want to try and touch it directly.
Okay, yeah.
If she won't stop me.
She would not stop you. She kind of walked up and stood in front of it and then turned around and started doing a sermon. You could very easily just walk up to the tree and touch it. The tree itself is a big old tall spruce that has been obviously bonsai, basically cultivated and coaxed to grow certain ways. So they're long, big old branches with big fluffy leaves along sides of it, where other places are bare. There's a big rope around the entirety of the thing with small white cards that are hanging off of it, basically every 2 inches or so. You see this very often in Japanese holy sites. It's kind of the similar principle. It's just it's used to signify sacred objects, and it's a little bit warded, that sort of thing. But you can walk up and touch the tree. It feels like a tree.
Okay, the cards don't say anything on them?
There is some writing in it. It's in a language. What languages do you speak?
Common, Primordial, Sylvan, and Draconic.
You would recognize that it's arcane glyphs that are on these cards. Go ahead and make it's divine magic, so you would have to roll a religion check for this.
Sure. 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, not bad. They're words of protection.
Okay.
Protect the tree. And I also imagine me and Corin are probably both wearing gloves because we have dream seeds in our hands.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have one in my left hand and he has one in his right hand. So I'm wearing some black leather gloves to hide that fact.
Okay.
My hand doesn't feel weird touching it, does it?
It does not. It's a tree.
That's fair.
As you're touching it, she says, "Oh yes, feel free to touch it. Please don't disturb the wards. We have it protected to keep parasites and the like from hurting it. But other than that, it's just a symbol of life. All life must come to an end at some point, and that's when they go to see Jorun, and that's when they are judged for their nature."
Yes, I am
Mother-
simply marveling at the size of it, considering that I see so few trees taken care of so well in areas like this.
This tree was planted by High Priestess Abir back when she was a young lady. She joined our convent at the young age of 18 and spent much of her formative years here. Well, this building was not here then. It was much smaller, and the tree was planted on the outside. But once High Priestess Abir decided to invest money and rebuild the convent, she chose to build the convent around her tree.
Mother Superior, I have heard that the catacombs beneath this convent are quite a sight to behold and quite a spiritual place to see. Do you think that that's possible to include on our tour?
She kind of raises an eyebrow at you and she says, "The catacombs. Oh, no, that's only where we bury the sisters who die here. It's to be honest, it's not much really to see. Just some dank, dirty caverns with remains in it."
Well, in my culture in Gulfrin, it is very important that we pay our respects to the dead and those who have come before us in our faith. It would mean a lot to me if I could say a prayer down there.
Make a persuasion check.
I will attempt to persuade. Yay, dirty 20.
She looks at you and thinks about it for a second, and then she says, "No, I'm sorry. We do not generally give tours of these places. They're reserved for the sisterhood alone. You being here on our grounds is in and of itself an oddity, so I'm afraid I could not allow that."
I understand. Thank you, Mother Spirit. I look at Corin to see if he's gonna do that sending that I mentioned.
Sure. While you're talking to her, I'll try and cast that furtively.
Walk around to the other side of the tree.
You could have been doing that while
Yeah.
Ichabod was talking to the mother.
Just kneeling down towards the ground, acting like I'm praying.
Sure, absolutely. So you're casting the sending spell. Who are
Yep.
you contacting?
Blaznir is probably fine.
Yeah, that'll go well. What are you telling Blaznir?
I'll just say, on tour in the courtyard.
Where you at?
Not able to tour the catacombs. Likely suspicious. The mother doesn't trust us anyway. Very man-hating.
Where you at? You're not gonna include the where you at.
Where you at?
You gotta say where. I gotta know where they are so we can say, can we see the garden?
Okay, Blaznir, you heard all that just pop in your head as you're in the middle of hoeing a patch of potatoes out of the ground.
Hi, Corin. We're in garden.
Oh, hi, Corin.
Is Blaznir good with a hoe?
I mean, he's been hanging out with you, Corin, for a while. I'm sure he's pretty good with a hoe. Oh,
Right.
Sorry, Finn's already dead. Corin hasn't slept with anybody except Ichabod so far.
Yeah, but he's a hoe for Ichabod.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, you said Blaznir?
I don't think the mother trusts us either. We have eyes on us. Do you need a distraction?
And that's what you hear, Corin.
Yeah, I think that's all I can do. So
You You didn't say where you were at.
Yeah,
I said I was
they
at the
were in the garden.
He did say we're in the garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How, I'll go back to the mother, I guess, and say, how difficult is it to keep such a place, self-sustainable? We always try to keep our elven communities as, sustainable as possible.
Well, that is a very interesting question. We do get quite a bit of our daily needs met by our own gardens, which we care for on the grounds here around the convent. We do get alms from the people in town who supply us with the other things that we need. Mostly the father and the monks at the temple of Jorun bring us everything that we need. We send them requests, they bring it to us, but most of our produce and such is grown here by the sisters ourselves.
Ah, that is, most interesting. What sorts of things do you grow?
Might we see these gardens?
She starts listing off a bunch of vegetables that they grow here. Ichabod, when you ask if you can view them, she says yes. She'll take you out to the gardens as well. Why don't and then she suggests, why don't we continue on with the tour?
Sure.
From there, she takes you to into the dining room. You see the long tables and that sort of thing. She leads you into the kitchen so you can look at that. Sorry. And from there, she leads you out a side door towards the gardens, which is, I think, where we're going to pause for our break.
Break time.
So we will be back in about 10 minutes, folks, and when we return, we're going to find out what Corin and Ichabod are able to do to get away from this this Mother Dominica and reunite with their friends. So stay tuned. Howdy, everybody. We are back. And when we last left off, Ichabod and Corrin were getting their tour of the convent along with Mother Dominica, the head priestess here at the convent. She's been not too thrilled about the pair of them, and they haven't done anything to really, enamor themselves with her. But that's how it usually goes here in the Debauchery Circus.
Yeah, I'm not a very likable person.
But upon request, she has led them out of the convent to the side grounds where the nuns grow most of their vegetables and produce and stuff. And you can see long rows of vegetables being grown here. Carrots, potatoes, cabbages. You can see the vines of squash, rows of lattice fencing for beans. There's even a little chicken coop out near the back, which is probably where you see the really tall nun that you guess is probably Blaznir. I imagine you would be Blaznir hanging out with the chickens during your gardening time. Is that about right?
I think I would go back and forth between plants and chickens, just because I like them both, and can't choose
fair.
one.
That's fair. But Lapis is currently picking some tomatoes along the bushwork. You can see Lapis. She still looks like a turtle. You can't disguise that much bulk. But she looks like a different turtle than herself. But you're guessing that's probably her. And behind her, along the beanpole, is a short gnome nun with a big bulbous nose and a face that you've seen before. He tends to use very similar disguises. So you've seen that face and you're like, yeah, that's probably Tomas. And as you're all walking out along these rows, there's a few other nuns as well. There's a nun actually leaning up against the building, kind of been watching the whole time. There's several more nuns hoeing the line works down around here. I don't have tokens for them, but here's a couple. But other than that, as Mother Dominica leads you out there, she's talking about, oh, these are the different plants we grow. Here's this type, here's this type. Over there's our chicken coop, yada, yada, yada. And you do spot the trio that you've been guessing is probably your friends. So what are you wanting to do? How are you trying to get away from Mother Dominica to try to talk to them?
I mean, if they're close enough, we don't even have to ask. We could just walk up and be like, and how are you finding your day-to-day life at this convent, ma'am?
Whom are you actually walking up to?
Let's go, Blaznir.
Okay, so you go, as Mother Dominica is walking along with Ichabod, you, Corin, just go walking up ahead, and Mother Dominica is like, what is your squire doing, Sir Sykes?
I look over at Corin and I'm like, I'm not sure I rightly know. He's quite a social lad, so I presume he's wanting to ask them about their day-to-day life. I do apologize, though. He's still in training, so I half-heartedly pretend to call Corin back.
No, stop!
Stop!
Don't do that. I totally don't want you to.
You should learn to behave yourself.
Respect your elders.
Like that.
But you go hurrying over, Corin, to Blaznir, and you can hear Ichabod yelling in the background, but Mother Dominica is just like, whatever.
Yeah, I'd rather her think that I just have kind of a rowdy squire. But we're all innocent. We're dumb, but we're innocent,
I kind of want a performance check from you, Ichabod, for this.
I gotta perform.
Let's see how good of a himbo he can be.
I'm already depressed that I'm not drunk anymore. Let's see. Why can I not find this? Oh, okay, so it's +4. Here goes.
Pure of heart,
14.
strong of body, dumb of ass.
Pretty much.
Just being my charming self.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Corin, what are you saying to Blaznir?
I'm just... how do you find the day-to-day in this convent? How is it been for you?
Oh, it's boring sometimes, but it's stable.
You guys are acting to each other.
Yes. Is it hot out, Matt?
I mean, it's summertime, so I'd say, yeah, it's relatively warm right now.
I oftentimes would find that with certain tasks, that it is often incredibly difficult to do during the daytime due to all the heat on you. Perhaps sometimes things are better left for doing in the dark.
You know what I mean?
I think I catch you, but I've never been one to be bothered by the heat. But
I think they're flirting.
I like how they're both trying to be really, really surreptitious.
I am not, in fact, flirting with him.
Sounds a little bit like
Yeah. No, I'm just enjoying how absolutely vague the both of you are being right now.
Yeah.
Needlessly so. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say needlessly so, considering there's, weapon-carrying nuns around here ready to smack us down.
There is certainly the nuns watching you. You kind of glance back, and you can see Mother Dominica looking over at Ichabod, and she's like, "Those are just recently joined acolytes. If your squire wants to know more about them, I can have you interview so many other more knowledgeable people than them."
Oh, my mistake.
To be honest, something interests me about others like myself who are willing to travel far and dedicate themselves to a new service. So perhaps they're just the people we want to talk to.
Are you saying anything else to Blaznir, Corin? What are the two of you trying to do here?
It is strange to think that an outsider would willingly come to such a place and give up all that the world has to offer.
I suppose, but I was curious, so.
I suppose that's true. I started roaming after most of my family ended up dead and buried in our familial catacombs.
Problem is, I'm, as a player, not good at with vague. Oh no.
Blaznir, if you'd rather just say what you actually are trying to tell somebody and then roll deception, that's fine too.
No, I don't know what's going on.
There's a whole lot of heat on us. It's better to do things at night. Catacomb.
Alright. Yes. Cool. I'm going to give you a piece of corn that I'm feeding to chickens.
Nice. Corn acquired.
You can see Tomas over by the beans, just like his hands on his head. He's shaking it. He's like, God damn.
Oh, I definitely want to try to talk to Tomas. So I'll turn, after saying, maybe they're the people we want to talk to, I'll turn to Mother Dominica and go, do you actually mind? I'd like to go and have a word with one of the nuns myself. Should only take a minute.
I suppose I do have to speak with Sister Mary Magdalene. I don't fucking care. Over here. Okay. So she walks over to the nun that's been observing Blaznir and Lapis this whole time, and leaves you, lets you go and talk to the little gnome woman who's face palming herself right now.
I will go over to Ichabod and whisper and mention the nuns that are keeping guard are carrying weapons.
That's good to know.
Hidden, but they're there.
Okay, so I look at this this little gnome nun, and I say, but instead of being vague, I say, Tomas at you.
The gnome does not look up. She's actually on her knees, kind of playing with the beans a little bit, but you hear a familiar voice say, well, if it wasn't me, you'd really be in a pickle right now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I'm a good guesser.
Let's make stealth checks just to see how well we're stage whispering right now.
Okay.
Do I need to make one as well?
Should my stealth be disadvantaged by my armor? If it's...
I would say no in this circumstance. You're not moving. You're just trying to whisper.
Okay, so I'm 10 with the first one of this. Well, they're both 10, so it's fine. But all right, yeah. Well,
Tomas is a little better with a 14, so you're not being too quiet. You're trying to whisper, but you're a big man in that armor. You got that deep baritone going on, so you might be a little louder than you mean to.
Mm-hmm. I'm like Arthur Morgan-esque voice here. Anyway.
But Corin, you said you wanted to roll a stealth as well?
No, I was asking if I needed to.
Well, I mean, you just walked over and whispered to Ichabod, so I'd say, yeah, you probably should have as well.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead, Ichabod.
Nat 20 for a 25?
Jesus.
I'm a fucking ventriloquist. You don't even see my mouth move?
Right.
Alright, I say, I know a lot of the nuns here are interred in the catacombs. It's part of my culture that I'd love to pay respect to them. I'm not permitted to go inside, but if I even knew where the door was, that would be enough for me. Is that something that you know?
You see the gnome kind of glance over at Mother Dominica for a moment, and then she stands up and picks a few of the beans and reaches up and hands it to you. saying in a loud voice, "Oh, here you are. Please enjoy this produce that we grow here. I'm sure it'll be much to your taste." But then he also whispers very quietly, "Haven't seen a way down yet, but the altar is enchanted. You think that's the way down?"
Well, I thank you for these lovely beans.
But he whispered that really fucking well with that 26 stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I say I will definitely look into that, perhaps this evening, and give him a long hard look because I'm not good at being stealthy, and then I'll just walk away.
Yeah. You hear him call back in his feminine voice, "Enjoy the beans!"
I sure will, ma'am.
Doesn't amount to a whole hill of beans.
As you're walking away, Mother Dominica walks back towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you asked all the questions you wish of these acolytes, my son?
Yes, I think we've got a real good view on the day-to-day life of these nuns here, and it's truly fascinating. Thank you again for your time.
Well, let's make our way back inside. We still have many places to show you. And your tour lasts basically about an hour and a half. She shows you the library and the adjoining reading and study room. She shows you the upstairs areas, some where the more senior nuns live. She brings you into her office and offers you a book of history of the convent here. In case you had more, you wish to learn more about it and that sort of thing. She tells you a little bit about the things they do throughout the day, their daily lives, their prayer services, and that sort of thing. And after that, she intends to lead you out. Now, during the tour, is there anything else you want to ask her or try to do during that time?
Yeah. Mother Superior, I know Ivek Abir often comes back to visit. Has she been here recently?
High Priestess Abir is a very busy woman, but she does make it a point to return to her original home quite frequently. She was here no more than, I want to say, a week ago. Let me double check. That's why I have a timeline. Yes, she was here about 20 days ago, in fact.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yes.
Now that is just fascinating. Do you know where she's off to? I always wonder what she does in her time and her busy life.
No, I couldn't speak on that. The head priestess of our religion is an exceptionally busy woman. The fact that she is able to get here at all is a wonder and a miracle. But her day-to-day business, I couldn't speak on that. She doesn't share that sort of thing with me.
Yeah. I always hope that I should run into her or happen to be in the same place that she is. But I'll just keep that hope.
She looks at you with a bit of a discerning eye, real quick.
Insight me.
You can, yeah, that's kind of what she's doing, actually. You can make whatever roll you want to make.
whatever I want. No.
Well,
Athletics.
within reason, you can. It can either be a deception, it can be a persuasion, it can even be an intimidation check if you'd like.
We're gonna sleight of hand those thoughts right out of her head.
Intimidating her with my lofty dreams. That's a nat 20, 28.
Wow.
Damn. Can't see
Let's
nothing.
see here.
It's how it becomes intimidating is that I do truly want to end up in the same place that she is so that I can kill her. She sees the fire in my eyes.
She just doesn't know why there's fire.
Yeah. She's just like, wow, he really has a strong dream for this to
No.
be true.
No, like, she has a pretty high insight, but you knock it out of the park, and she's like, oh, well, I hope that one day you are able to meet her firsthand. She is a truly wonderful, wise, and caring woman.
I do believe you, and I surely hope that we get the chance to meet face to face. That's all I have to ask her, so I don't know if Corin has any ideas.
Not at the moment.
I mean, this is the lady. This is the lady. I feel like I should ask her like 400 questions.
You can, you've got an hour and a half with her. You could have spent that time asking her whatever you want.
I don't know what to ask her, and I'm always taken by the temptation to reveal more than I should, because I'm like, where I want to like take my glove off and let her see the dream seed just to see how she reacts. But I'm like, that's dangerous.
Forget taking your glove off. You'd rather just slap her with it.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, because I always just want to be like, move plot along, even if it's bad. Like, so I'm trying to resist the urge to do something stupid.
Well, fair enough. It's like I said, entirely up to you.
I know what I could do. I could allow her a glimpse of my whip, which is made out of a beholder.
You brought your weapons with you?
Oh,
No. I don't know that they would let you have brought your weapons with you.
I presume if they took them.
I mean, they didn't take them. I just would assume that, like, you're going on a tour. You didn't come armed and loaded for bear. But if you did, feel free to correct me.
He's got to have something, dude. I gotta have something. You expect me to walk around here with nothing? And we thought maybe we were gonna go down into the catacombs, and you thought we were gonna go down to the catacombs?
No, I didn't think we were going to go down to the catacombs. I thought that we were going to do that tonight.
I would say I probably left most of my stuff behind, but this is a little whip, and if I can hide it under my coat, then absolutely I brought that with me.
Okay, you probably, like, nobody searched you or anything like that. It's not like you went through security. I don't have an obvious
sheath with a sword in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
This Ichabod is never going to go anywhere unarmed.
Period. No, that's fair. That's fair. So you have your whip kind of stuffed, like hooked on your back, so your cloak is hiding it, so nobody can see it. But you want to pull it out and show the mother?
I don't want to show it to her. I want to, as we're leaving, I would kind of like throw my coat back in such a way that the
accidentally reveal it.
Yeah, like I'm adjusting my coat or reaching into my back pocket or something, and my whip can be seen, and I just want to see the reaction on her face as we leave.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're going to be flourishing your coat back so that she can see it and try to gauge her reaction. Got it.
Exactly, but as we're leaving, so that we can't be in the middle of the tour and her go, I can't believe you have a whip in here. You need to leave right now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So she leads you back down to the main chapel, and towards the door. And as you're doing so, you just kind of turn and twist and kind of fluff out your coat a little bit. That way she can see the whip. And the moment that she does see it, you do hear, or at least Corin would hear, because he's got a decent passive perception, a little bit of a gasp as she looks down at this, and she says,
My son, why did you bring a whip in here?
Oh, this is just a weapon which I must carry for my order. I am a Fist of the Father paladin, so I'm kind of forbidden to go anywhere without my sanctioned weapon. But it is purely ceremonial, trust me. And
she smiles a little bit as she sees this, and she says, well, if it makes you feel safe, my son, we take no offense. You know, we nuns are quite dangerous, and I can understand your desire to remain armed.
I give her a little respectful nod. So should I roll like an insight or something? Because is she just reacting to the fact that it's a weapon, or is she reacting to that it's a beholder?
You can make an insight check if you like.
This is just a power play for me. I got a 9.
Yeah. Difficult to tell. The way she gasped, it could have been either.
Could have been either. But that's okay. Ichabod is a bad person, and it's just a power play.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
When the door opens, you are surprised to see one of the other monks. We're going to call him Brother Philip, standing there on the outside in the covered walkway, just standing there, waiting patiently.
Phillips, where's Butters?
Brother Butters is sleeping it off right now. He had a bit too much while he was making dinner and kind of got a little, you know.
Yeah, you should keep an eye on Butters. I suspect he might have a bit of a problem.
We've had that similar worry for a few months now as well. I'll let the father know what you said.
I'm gonna get Butters in trouble for no reason.
You are grounded, mister. Hamburgers.
As you're saying that, you hear the Reverend Mother behind you. It seems that is affliction that Brother Sykes here shares. Perhaps some time in solitude and prayer would benefit them both, she says before shutting the door on you.
Wow.
Ichabod got. She got me. 100%.
Yep.
I give up. I concede. Alright, I spend the rest of the evening in quiet solitude, praying.
In quiet solitude.
Yeah.
Well, the Brother Philip does take you back down to the temple. It's just nearing the evening. The sun is slowly beginning to set, and it won't be long before the evening's prayer service begins. You're escorted back to your rooms, and if you want to just, spend that time in prayer before going to the church service, you certainly can. As for Blaznir, Lapis, and Tomas, once the two men and Mother Dominica are leave, the nun that's been watching you walks over and tells you that that's probably enough, and go ahead and carry your packages or your parcels or whatever, your baskets carrying the vegetables inside. You're met by the nun who runs the kitchens. You're able to hand off your veggies and whatnot, and then you're escorted back to your rooms to wash up and get ready for evening services as well. During that time, Tomas looks over at the two of you, Blaznir and Lapis, and he says, Ichabod and Corrin seem to want to try to break into the convent tonight. What do you all think?
I was hoping to get a chance to talk to the tree outside first, but...
Well, if you want to do that, you should probably do it before evening service, because after evening service, we go straight into dinner, and
then they lock us in our rooms for the evening.
Yeah,
Yes.
I certainly don't want to get stuck here picking veggies for the rest of my life. So
Well, we're not going to be here for the rest of our lives, but
yeah, but I would like to get moving on. I'm kind of tired of all these veggies.
Wait, you're a turtle.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I quite like
but
their
I
gardens.
don't like stagnation. I want to move on.
I crave human flesh.
But yeah, I was. I guess if you Thomas think doing it like before service is a good idea, then I guess I just didn't want to do it out in the open. I was hoping to, be a little. I could be stealthy about it.
Well, I mean, if that's not a horrible thought. If you want to do it under the cover of darkness, you could definitely do that too. Well, I'll point out that last night there was somebody patrolling. So either way, there's going to be eyes out there.
Suppose. Hmm.
So, what are you planning on doing, Blaznir?
Let's see. I would lose invisibility after I cast Speak with Plants.
What's that?
I'm just thinking to myself right now.
Talking to trees, obviously.
Yeah, I want to talk to trees. I just want to find a way to get there without anyone realizing I'm walking over there. Could disguise myself as another nun, but
you could just be nonchalant about it too.
I suppose. I didn't want to be there in the middle of the courtyard talking to a tree, and everyone just like looking at me and like
you're
praying.
I suppose, but it's just a little religious types tend to witchery. That probably should be killed for. I don't know about
Clerics and
D&D,
druids exist in D&D, man. I mean,
yeah.
I just
consorting with demons and devils, maybe, but
yeah, I know. But my first thought was like, oh, if they see me talking to a plant, they're gonna be like, probably not a good thing.
It depends on what you're doing. If you're just standing there talking loudly and having a obvious conversation with a tree, yeah, that's pretty fucking suspicious.
But if you're doing it quietly or, saying things that wouldn't be amiss.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's how you spin it. But you can also just not do that. Wait until the evening, and at night when it's dark enough, then go out and do it.
Yep.
It's entirely up to you.
Could do that, but it'd be more suspicious if they see me. So I'll do it now.
Oh, I came out here to fertilize the tree, if you know what I'm saying.
Actually, since I've got Tomas here, I'm just going to say, actually, I have another idea real quick.
Huh? What's that?
I'll just cast Invisible on you.
Invisibility. Yeah, but if I cast Speak with Plants, it would fade off.
If I cast it on you, I'm the one concentrating on it. Then you can cast it.
But it's when you cast a spell for invisibility.
How long does Speak with Plants last?
Like, I think it's like 10 minutes.
Well, let's look.
And then run down there.
Yeah, I'd have to be fast about it. It's probably
You
not
cast your spell first. I cast my spell second. I'll open the door for you and pretend I'm going to the bathroom, and you can walk out there then.
Yep, lasts for 10 minutes.
I suppose.
I like it.
Magical teamwork.
Hell yeah.
So, sounds like a plan then. If you really want to talk to the tree, we can do so now.
I don't know, it seems like a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
you
it.
cast your spell, I'll cast mine.
Alright. Speak with Plants. Do.
Because everybody has full use of their spells right now, so why not?
Speak with plants, do. Speak with plants.
Ichabod and Corrin are eating the borscht.
Yep. Yeah, Corin and Ichabod are just chilling in the dining room with the monks, eating borscht and talking about how drunk Butters was.
Yeah, only Butters.
Only Butters, who's not there, by the way.
Yeah, he's not there to defend himself, so I'm spreading a lot of rumors.
I have a question.
Yes.
Speak with plants. It allows plants within 30 feet of me to come to life. Is that like even as I'm moving around, or is that just when I cast it, the plants around me come to life?
I think it's plants are always alive.
Sure, but
so the way I interpret this is that when you cast a spell on yourself, whatever plant you're focusing on, that's which one it can respond to you. And like probably other plants in the immediate area can like hear and stuff as well. But if you're talking to one specific one, you're not just going to hear, a bunch of plants screaming because you're trampling them or something like that,
My question was that does that area move with me during the spell's duration?
He's just worried about like random plants popping up alive while he's trying to get there, I think.
No, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about me casting it here would only affect the plants around here and not when I move towards
it'll
the tree.
travel with you.
Okay. That's all right.
Travel with you. It's not a problem.
Okay.
So you cast your spell. Then Tomas casts his, and then he goes and opens the two doors and walks over to the latrine, leaving the door open just long enough that you can get out as well.
And, I'll be sneaky.
Make a stealth check.
Stealth.
It starts with an S.
Natural 1.
Well, good thing you have advantage because you're invisible.
But that's for sight, not sound.
Yeah.
So, stealth covers all of that stuff.
All of it.
You still get to roll
He's letting
twice.
you roll again.
I guess I just
Why
need
do you
once.
hate yourself?
Just roll again.
Because
If you want to take your nat 1, fine. As you're
I'm just saying it's not.
As you're walking through the courtyard, you trip.
I'm not dead yet, Blaznir. You can't make a wizard yet.
Soon you will be.
No.
I made a pact. When I die, you die as well.
See, the pact has to have 2 people involved, though, and I'm not, so...
Well, no,
Well,
it's just
anyway.
a demon's gonna take your soul. It's it's fine.
So what's your total roll?
15, I suppose.
Well, with your 15, you as quietly as you can make your way over to the tree. There are a handful of nuns walking around, some going from one room to another, that sort of thing. You saw Tomas head over to the latrine, but you, as quietly as you can, invisibly walk over to the tree. What do you want to ask it?
Let's get. I should have wrote that down. Hello, Mr. Tree. How's it going?
Can't complain.
I'm
kind of hanging here, living life.
Be in a tree.
Sure, you can't complain. You seem very well taken care of.
Oh, I am. They feed me, they water me, they keep the pests away from my branches and my roots. It's a pretty good life here.
I was wondering because you seem to have a nice view of the of the windows behind me, of the altar room and stuff. Do you see anything strange, unsettling go on in there?
I mean, don't really have eyes. I'm a tree.
Oh, that's fair enough. But
I got roots and I got branches. And I'm aware of what's going on around me. Nuns around here, pretty nice. Always taking care of me. I guess it really depends on what you describe, what you think is odd.
I mean, anything not very not human building naturals, but unnatural. I mean, human buildings unnatural, but anything like dark unnatural that you feel that makes you uneasy. Any certain area?
Yeah, kind of down below. There's a lot of darkness down there under the ground.
Do you mean the literal definition of darkness where no light is penetrating into the ground, or do you mean like evil darkness when you say that?
He was clearly. Never mind.
I'm just asking.
Ask the tree if he feels death.
It's definitely dark underneath the ground.
I no, I. But which
drink whiskey.
which form of darkness though? There's you probably don't understand human concepts like stuff like that. I barely understand.
Now there's some definite sickness down there. Don't feel good too far down. I don't let my roots go beyond a certain point. It's just very strange down there below.
Right, well, I suppose that's something.
Knows the dreaming tree if that's like his grandpa or something.
I can barely hear you, Brie.
I said, ask him if he knows the dreaming tree, like if that's his grandpa.
Entrances.
Yeah, do you by chance know of a giant tree that used to be in the land, like bigger than all the trees? They call it the dreaming tree sometimes.
All plants know of the great tree that once was on this land, but that was destroyed long before any of us were around.
Sure,
Plants remember.
So you wouldn't know the feeling of the dreaming tree and be able to tell if under there is the dreaming tree feeling.
The dreaming tree doesn't exist anymore. That's just a myth, a legend. What's below is more like a cancer.
I'm gonna, while invisible, pull out the dream seed from Satchel and just does it feel like this energy?
So the moment you place the dream seed down in front of the tree, you can see grass is starting to grow up around it.
Ooh.
Little shoots and vines begin to spring up out of the ground and start creeping along the sides of it. And like you immediately like start pushing it away and grab the thing. Now, for a moment, it was very much visible.
I wouldn't have set it down. I would have kept it in my hand, though. I guess, but
You're invisible. So if you pull it out,
anything I'm holding is still invisible.
oh, I see.
Well, you just said you sat it down.
No, I didn't. I said I'd
Yes,
pull it out and just say, does it feel like this? That's what I said.
I thought you said you sat it down.
No, because I was like, oh yeah, anything I hold is invisible, so I'm not going to set it down.
Okay, well then we'll say that you had your hand down close enough to the ground that allowed the plants to begin to creep up at it, and like it's just immediate growth. But you lift your hand up away, and the plants kind of stop and go limp a little bit, and the tree says, "No, nothing like that. That's the feeling of life itself."
Put it back in. Okay.
About this time, your passive perception would have noticed that Tomas steps out from the latrine and begins is making a very slow walk, like obviously trying to take his time down towards the door to your rooms. Do
No,
you have any other questions you want to ask the tree?
would you, you probably wouldn't know, but would you know if any entrances to that dark sickness down there? We kind of want to expunge it from the land to help you out, you know.
There is a tunnel that goes down from building yonder behind you. It goes down beneath me. I imagine that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, is it like directly behind me, or?
From where I can feel it, it leads into that building over there, but my roots don't go that far.
Really? You're such a big tree. Huh?
Like I said, I keep my roots kind of up high to stay away from whatever it is that's down there.
That's fair. Well, I'm glad to know you're not evil. I would have been very sad if you were.
There are evil trees out there?
Oh, very much so. No, that's insensitive. But yeah, I've met some evil trees. I've met trees that get up and punch you. It's yeah.
Work.
I don't think I can do that.
Oh,
But well, maybe one day. You know, I only have a little more training to go to be able to do that. So maybe one day I'll let you do that if you would like.
The tree joins the party.
Uh,
Is this tree, but he's an ant now.
Basically, you have Groot join the party.
I am Groot.
He's a good tree.
You have anything else you want to ask the tree, Blaznir?
Oh boy. Just been probably not. Don't know. Probably not.
Lapis, what have you been up to this entire time?
Was I not with everybody, or
No, you were left in the room while invisible Blaznir went out to go talk to the tree, and Tomas was doing a bathroom break. What were you doing during that time? We just haven't heard much from you today, so I was giving you a chance.
I don't think Lapis has anything to do right now other than she's restless. She's wanting to get the move on.
Trying to start a fight with one of the nuns.
Fight Club.
Like, it wasn't my
Hey, we don't talk about that.
That was your job.
Nun Fight Club 2. Back out of the habit.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, then I guess we're probably going to pick things up next week with this group waiting until the evening to try to break into the convent. While Tomas was in the toilet, Corin, you would have heard his voice as he cast a sending spell to you.
Sure.
He says, "What's the plan? Could possibly unlock a door if I know when."
Okay. Is that it?
Other than that, trying to think if there's anything else he might convey. None seems suspicious. Not sure why. Baptismal scheduled for tomorrow evening.
Let me do a response for him. Nuns mind controlling priest somehow attempting access to catacombs after bedtime, can pick front door to nunnery, or you can unlock.
Room door.
5 left. If you have nothing else, that's it. That's fine too.
Darkness, most likely below.
Okay.
Okay, so right after bedtime, basically.
Yes.
That's when we're planning to meet. And hopefully we can find the door. Because I don't know where it is. Oh man.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then we will end things here for this evening. With Blaznir, Lapis, and Tomas heading to their mass, evening mass, and then dinner. Ichabod and Corrin heading to their mass for the evening before heading off to study and go to bed. So we'll probably pick things up next week. In the late evening, probably around midnight or so, because that's the dark point.
Yeah, and I would have made sure to have time to copy that spell.
Yep. So yeah. How many hours do you need? What level spell is it?
Let me look. It is a 4th level spell.
So yeah, that's 4 hours that you got to spend copying that spell. So I mean, if it's like 5 o'clock in the evening when you're having dinner, you got plenty of time to copy it.
Good.
Okay. Then we'll pick up next week with that at midnight. Okay. Well, thank you to everyone who watched this evening. We very much appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching us here on Twitch, please hit that follow button, and if you really want to, hit that subscribe. It helps us out, helps the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell as well. That'll give you notifications every time we release new content. If you're listening to us on podcasts, you can follow us or subscribe to us, or however you can do that on whatever podcast service you're using. We're pretty much everywhere. Hope to see you again next week when we find out just what insanity the Debauchery Circus runs into when they try to break into this convent.
Yep.
So, on behalf of the Debauchery Circus and everybody here in the Fab Five, or in the Random Rhapsody crew, I just want to say once again, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Good night.